Welcome to the VA Today pod and videocast with your host, Gail Alexander, a podcast about VAs, for VAs, and businesses looking for the right VA to help to start grow their business. Find the right VA today and visit VA Today on YouTube and ava-ni.com to find out more about VAs and what they can do for you, and get in touch with the virtual assistants you need today. Hi everyone, welcome to the VA Today with me, Gail Alexander, and today I am joined with Ann Read from the PA portal, and Ann is based in Kent in England and has had to do some running around and rescheduling for me for my being sick. So I thank you so much for bearing with me and taking the time to have an interview with me today.
It's no problem. Pleased to be here, Gail. Thank you.
So first off, just wanted to talk about your business, the PA portal, and how you started your business and why. What was the main driver? What made you set up your business?
Okay, so I set up the PA portal in June 2017. Basically, I'd been working as a PA for 18 years for various companies, small companies, right through to corporates. My last role that I was doing within the corporate world was actually more of a remote PA kind of role. So I was already a virtual assistant before I set up the business. So I was lucky to have that 7 years experience before I even started the business. So yeah, I started the business following redundancy. It was a great opportunity to go it alone and start my own business and go from there. So yeah, the PA portal, as I say, has been over a year now, and it's going from strength to strength. So I'm really pleased with the success so far.
Yeah, I love the branding. It's lovely colours.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's bright and colourful and friendly, and that's kind of what I wanted to, I sort of designed it with my friend who's a web designer. He did my website as well. And yeah, it wasn't a painful process. It was really great fun. I love the creative side of it all. So
yeah. I know it took me quite a while and dithering over mine, but yes, I probably could do with a graphic designer to look at it to make it slightly more fancy, but sure, someday. So you were saying you went, and it was from redundancy, and it's a similar story to myself, to setting up your own business. But as you said, you were working pretty much as a virtual assistant. Was that setting up a business, your business, was that difficult for you, or was it straightforward? Or did you take any sort of business classes because you'd already been a VA in essence?
Yeah. I didn't, when I first started the business, the first thing I did was book onto a social media course, which was social media for business owners. Because I'd worked in the corporate world, obviously with a large media and marketing company and department, wasn't something that I was responsible for. But obviously, being as a business owner, you do everything and you need to know everything. And social media works at such a fast pace; it's difficult to keep up to speed. So it was a 2 solid day course run by the Kent Chamber of Commerce. It was a free course. It was brilliant actually, and it really gave me that confidence to get straight out there and start marketing my business from day one through social media channels, which I have been doing, and it has paid back basically. So definitely social media. I didn't do any other business startup courses, but I did do a huge amount of online research. I was lucky actually in the redundancy process. I had a very long consultation period, which was 3 months, where I wasn't really doing any work for my previous employer. So I had 3 months of research time, and that was just perfect. Yeah, that was what grounded me.
And you were saying, yeah, you do a lot of social media, and I know that you offer your Tuesday tip out to your followers on your website, which is brilliant and fantastic, because I think giving back to the VA industry, a PA industry, executive assistant industry, whatever title that anyone uses, so relevant. And it also gives back to you as well. And I think sort of people forget that, what you give is what you get back. And I love the Tuesday tips.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, they go down really well. And it's not just for other VAs and PAs. It's also obviously for my clients, the small business owners that need that little techie tip that might make their day a bit smoother really. And also friends and family that follow me on my Facebook, they all love the iPhone tips that I share and things like that. So yeah, it's really, it works for everyone, and it works for me too. So
yeah. And I guess because you're a small business yourself, as well as your customers being small business, and as you say, what works for them, what works for me. So
yeah, definitely.
Win-win.
Yeah.
So is that predominantly the services that you offer, or what sort of list, general list or niche?
Yeah, well, I definitely am more of a generic personal assistant, or virtual personal assistant, as I like to call myself. I do your, your normal PA duties that you would expect from a traditional PA: diary, email management, document writing, report writing, online research, data reporting, etc. But I do have that sales and marketing background, and also obviously social media, and they're the things that I love, and they're a real add-on to the generic PA services. So I'd like to think I'm an all-rounder, but we're definitely with an emphasis for sales, marketing, huge sort of supporter of fantastic service and customer service, not just for my clients, but making sure my clients are providing great service for their clients, and often with my clients, I'm that front of house person for them, because they haven't got time to follow through on sales calls and follow up with their clients, and they just need that extra help and support. So that's something that I take great pride in doing. And obviously marketing and creative and social media, they all kind of mix together. So yeah.
And as you're saying there, you're kind of representing their brand as well. In essence, you're, even though you're a virtual, possibly temporary or project oriented employee, but you're in some cases the front of house. You're the face or the voice that they hear. So
absolutely. And I'm really, really brand aware. And obviously, I know all about building a brand now, because I've built my own brand, the PA Portal. So I know clients are so protective over their brands and their image, and that's what's really important. And, I help them to sort of promote that as well.
And so does that come from your background? Because I know that you've worked at sort of PA levels with different large companies, the likes of Debenham, and in the fashion industry specifically.
Yes. Yeah.
The kind of niche market that you like to serve, or is that just, where you come from?
Yeah, it's my experience and it's my passion, and it's, my career and life experience is fashion, retail, sales and marketing. But the clients that I work for are from all different industries, from construction, property development, right through to fitness coach. So all of those elements, the services that I provide fit every type of small business. I find I know that every time I meet a client or a potential client, we have a chat and they talk about their admin issues and their anxieties about their admin, and I'm okay, I can help you with that. There's always such a wide range of skills that can fit most businesses, really.
Yeah. And that list that you're saying that you support, quite varying, so like construction to fitness,
I know,
quite different. So
yeah,
do you have a preferred sort of, well, that's probably shouldn't really ask that, but is there a client that you've had that you don't need to name anyone, that you've had some really good fun with, or any funny stories around?
I don't know about funny stories, but I love working, I just love helping people, and often it's the people that are really really up against it, and they're like, I can't see a way forward. I don't know. I've got this idea for my business. I want to go to, this place, but I don't know how to get there. And they're the clients that I like to work with. The ones that are really, as my sort of strapline a little bit is about alleviating admin anxiety, because I know loads of people have that. And, I want to help them with that. And that's my kind of client, somebody that's kind of probably feeling a little bit desperate, can never get to the bottom of their to-do list. And, so it's not necessarily an industry, it's that type of client, that personality that just really needs some help. And, if they reach out and ask for help, and, we offer discovery calls where we sit and chat on the phone or video conference for an hour. We get to know the client, we get to know what their issues are, and then we can, they might not even know where to start, but I'm the expert, so I can say, I think you need help with this or with that, and go from there, really. So those sorts of clients.
And you're talking about like people with anxiety, and it's such a relevant thing in this day and age, with World Mental Health Day yesterday, and so many people suffer from anxiety and mental health disorders as well. And work is going to be one of those main factors. So being able to support that industry is a massive sort of bonus to you. Obviously you're doing it as a job, but it's also a really good feel-good factor.
Absolutely, yeah. If you can take some client who's really up against it, working all the hours that the day can provide, and not having any quality work-life balance, then that's where I like to step in and help them alleviate that a little bit. So I'm really passionate about work-life balance, and you know, you're right with Mental World Health Day yesterday. It was really positive to see all the social media messages out there. Everyone just, you know, the more you talk about it, the more you ask for help. You know, help is out there. You just need to ask, and that's what VAs are there for. So.
Exactly. Yeah, we are. And one thing is, there's not a stupid question, and thank God for that, because I'll ask plenty.
Just ask. You don't know until you ask.
Exactly.
That's you know, you've got to ask. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So talking about clients and clients that really need that support, how do you suggest that a business finds a VA or a EA, whatever?
Yeah.
How do you suggest they find the one that works the best for them?
I think you've got to find obviously the person with the skill sets that match your business, but it's about personality. You know, it's a personal assistant. You need somebody that you can work with, relate to, communicate to. If you can't communicate with that person, then, you know, it's going to be a struggle. You know, you don't want that. A virtual assistant is someone that's going to make your life easier. So you don't want to come across any sort of barriers at the beginning. And I think if you're looking to find the right virtual assistant for you, you do need to do a bit of online research. You need to look at LinkedIn. You need to, you know, study what, you know, people's businesses are like. You know, if a virtual assistant doesn't have a professional business, you know, of their own, then how professional are they going to be for your business? So you really need to have a look into them. Obviously, personal referrals is really powerful. I'm lucky enough to have had, I would say 90% of my clients have come to me through personal referrals from existing clients. So that, you know, if you are looking for a VA, just ask around. Maybe some of your colleagues or, you know, other business owners that you know have used somebody in the past and can recommend somebody. Yeah. So I think that's really important. But there are obviously organisations out there for virtual assistants that you can search the directories or get advice. So that, you know, there's lots of options and lots of avenues. But I'm sure if you just Google virtual assistant in your hometown area, you will find some. And then you just need to, you know, suss them out, really.
And that's one thing I think clients or people may think, just because it's a virtual assistant, and some assistants do work that way, that they never meet their clients, but others they do. Like my client, I would meet every once in a while as well, just to make things easier and for them, and they can talk clearly and clarify things. So, you know, there is that option as well. So as you say, you do go for in your local area.
That's absolutely how I like to work. That's why I decided when I set up the business to call it the PA portal, the personal assistant portal, because I want to offer that personal service. Yes, I work virtually and work from home, but I like the option that I can meet my clients. They might ring up and say, I'm really struggling, you know, do you want to meet for a coffee? And then you just have that coffee for an hour, and then you basically, their to-do list, which is stuck in their head and they can't get out, is now written down for you in front of you, and you go away and you task it and you deliver it. So that personal service, that's why a lot of my clients are in the Maidstone, Kent and Southeast region, so I can get out there and meet them as and when.
Yeah. So you were saying there that a lot of 90% of your clients have come from referrals. Mm-hmm. How have you gone out and got the rest of your clients? What way have you reached out? Have you reached out to clients? Has it been through advertising, promotion, face-to-face networking? What way have you done it?
It's mostly, as I say, obviously 90% has been referrals. So the remainder would be, it has been social media. But obviously I think what's kind of happened is I've gone out, I've networked, I've met somebody, and then they've checked out social media, and then that's cemented that they think, okay, yeah, she knows what she's doing, she knows what she's talking about, I'll follow that through. You know, I've met clients a year ago. I've given my card, you know, just, you know, you meet clients everywhere, at the bus stop, walking down the street, you know, you stop and you chat to somebody, which I like.
Strangers.
Yeah, random people. No, somebody always knows somebody. So if you don't promote your own services, then, you know, you're not going to, you know, if you can't talk about your own business, then, you know, you're not going to be confident enough to be a VA, really. So mostly through social media, and I've started doing a lot more face-to-face networking. In fact, I've been to a networking meeting this morning. It's great. And I think networking isn't just about finding clients, it's about being in a group that's supportive. And I've learned loads of little tidbits today about video marketing, which I'm sure you already know. So I'll be you know, uploading some more videos to my YouTube channel and things like that, you know, just you know, it's a collaborative approach in networking, as is the VA industry. So we're really lucky to have so much support out there, I think.
Yeah, you're talking about networking, and it was one of my sort of horrors before when I, got into this industry. I was like, oh, I don't really know how to do this. But as you say, it's not always about selling yourself. It's about those connections, and you don't know what can come from those connections a year down the line, or passing someone on, referrals as well. So networking is also about support. And I see that you've now a member of Women in Business.
Yes, that's right. Yes, I joined, and I went to another group this morning, Mid-Kent Ladies at Latte. So 2 female-focused networking groups. But I have been to BNI as well and tried that out. So I'm out there and trying out different types of networking, because they're all quite different actually, and you meet different groups of people. And I think it's good to have a flavour of all of them rather than just go to one networking group. I think you're restricting your audience, I think, and your support network if you just keep going to the same one all the same time.
Yeah. So another question I've been asking the VAs is about isolation. With the nature of our work being predominantly at home, do you find yourself ever feeling isolated, and how do you manage that? And I guess that's where the networking and the face-to-face meetings come into play.
Yeah, I've never felt isolated. I think because when I first set up the business, I was working 3 full days. That's kind of how I like to plan my time. Now it's spread across the whole working week. And so that gave me, the rest of the week to go out and socialize, etc. I think if I was setting up as a VA from the beginning and hoping to fill full-time hours, I would probably look into a co-working space where, for 1 or 2 days a week, you can go and be in a different environment and meet different people. But as I say, in my previous role, I was working remotely anyway. So I was very used to being in an office, working quite isolated. So for me personally, it's not an issue, but I can see how for other people it might be. But there's so many options out there. You can just pick up your laptop and go wherever Wi-Fi is. And, as long as you've got secure Wi-Fi, you're fine, to do some work in cafes, etc.
Secure Wi-Fi and a robust laptop. I have learned that the hard way.
Coffee and laptops don't mix well.
Or even just dropping it. It doesn't help either. That's what insurance is for.
Yes.
So you were saying how you used to block your days as a 3-day week, but now it's spread over the working week. Do you have a specific way of managing your working week, or does it vary from week to week depending on clients and tasks?
Yeah, it does. It varies. It varies week to week, but mostly across the month, because I have retainer clients mostly. That I have one that's committed to 21 hours a week. So that's obviously a great client. There's a really solid contract there. So that they are set hours, but they are shorter throughout the week rather than 3 long days, which is what I used to do, to fit around childcare. And my daughter has started school in September. So obviously I needed to reduce those hours. So yes, but throughout the month I have clients that, I work in the evenings, I work weekends, I fit it around my life and, the other commitments of my other clients. And in terms of how I manage that, it's just obviously all about electronic diary and scheduling. And I schedule in time to, do my own business admin, my blogging, etc., because I think if you don't block out the time, you will never do it. And I'm obviously, always about forward planning, etc., and trying to get everything, everything has to fit together to make it work really, especially when you're working hours all over the place in terms of evenings, mornings, afternoons, etc. You just need a very structured plan. So yeah, electronic diary, definitely scheduling, and obviously all synced with your phone, because your phone is never out of your hand when you're a virtual assistant.
Yeah. So you're talking about scheduling and organization, which is obviously like 2 fundamental skills a VA has. Do you have any advice or any particular tools or software that you think are an absolute must for any business, I guess, small business owner or a VA in general?
Yeah, definitely. There are a lot of the tools, and actually I did write a blog about my top 5 tools for any small business owner, or especially VAs as well. Some of those would definitely be Trello, which is, I know there's lots of other apps out there, but obviously it's an organization tool where I have Trello boards for my business, my social media, etc., and obviously all of my clients, so I can just keep track of all the tasks that are ongoing. So yeah, Trello is definitely a godsend.
Mhm.
And Toggle, the timekeeping app, is obviously, it's fundamental. It's on all the time pretty much, because I'm busy, which is great. But it's really fundamental, obviously, for when you're invoicing clients, that you have, you're tracking every second of your day, of your time, so you can report back to them. So yeah, they're my two top ones, obviously, apart from all the Microsoft packages, etc., obviously, that I work from. So yeah.
Yeah. So talking about tools and is there anything, well, you said earlier about if you'd when you started out, things you may have changed. So when you were setting up your business, did you have any major challenges, and how did you get around those? Or is there something that you wish you knew then what you do now?
I think when I sort of started setting up the business, or thinking about being a business owner, it was all the tax and the accounting and the finance. I have a good knowledge of all of this, and I'm great at tracking invoices, and all that cost control is certainly something I've done in my career. But when it's your own business and you're really busy, I was very aware that I needed to outsource that for my first year of business. So I got an accountant basically from day one, who, I even met him before I formed the business, just to talk through the options. So I was, he definitely has supported me. It's just great to have that person that you can go to. I'm a real advocate of outsourcing, obviously, as you would be being a VA, because you want people to outsource to you. So yeah, the financial side of it, and the legal sort of responsibilities as a business owner, yeah, you definitely need to research that up front, because you don't want to be caught out for your anti-money laundering and your professional indemnity, etc., which obviously you all need to have, for your various tasks that you do. So yeah, I think it's well worth, if you don't know, getting someone to help you with those things at the setup stage of the business.
And so you're saying that you outsource to an accountant the financial stuff, which is something that I do as well.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you outsource? Like, would you say, like, for legal templates, or just any other tasks that a client's maybe asked you to do that you're just not, you don't have the capacity to do it, or you don't have the skills at present, but somebody else that does? Is there?
Yeah. It hasn't necessarily. I have started working with an associate, so she works with me since September, and she basically has taken some of the client work away from me, so I can go out and network and meet new clients and bring in new business and keep the business ticking over. It's definitely worked, and she supported me as well as with my own business admin. And a VA needs a VA sometimes. There's sometimes there's so much there's so much that you need to get done, and you just can't do it all if you're working on client business all the time. So that certainly helped. And so I have worked with a couple of other associates on smaller projects in the past, just basically when I've not had the time to do it all. And my clients are really aware that I do outsource as and when is needed, and that they're very comfortable with that, because they know that I'm overseeing the tasks and managing it all, and they don't need to be bothered by it. They just know that they're still going to get the same level of service. Yeah. So it is a part of my business plan, my business model, to grow that over the next couple of years, to work with more associates. And maybe bring in different skills then to the PA portal, to the business that maybe I don't necessarily have in the future. So to offer, a much rounded service and all, one-stop shop kind of service.
Yeah.
Through a team of associates would be quite good.
Yeah, definitely could do with a VA helping me schedule all of this, because editing and recording and researching. Yeah, crikey, I could do.
Well, you know where I am.
It may come to that. So you're talking there about sort of goals that you and plans that you have. Are these your main sort of 1, 3, 5, even 10-year goals for the business, or is there anything else that you foresee or want to do?
No, I think I'm kind of just projecting forward to like year 3, and that is to be like a well-established, award-winning, put myself forward for a few awards and hopefully be lucky enough to win, and have a team of associates sort of to back up the business and get a lot more business flowing, clients. It's just supporting more people, because there's so many small business owners out there that need the support, and I can't physically support them all. So I'd love to. So with with a team behind you as associates, you know, you can offer that service really. So that's the model for up to 3 years.
I just had a mad picture pop into my head there, like octopus VA, because you want to help everyone. And I'm like,
yeah,
random thoughts have been coming into my head today all day long, so I apologize for that.
No, it's fine. I'm an octopus VA.
8 hands for everything. So, if you had your choice of a dream client, is there such a thing, or is it maybe the way the person works? Is it maybe the industry they're in, or is it the jobs that they give you? Do you have a dream client?
I wouldn't say it was down to the industry, because I've spoken about it. You know, clients have needs wherever they work. I suppose a dream client would be someone who's so good at communicating with you that you know exactly what their priorities are without you having to ask them. That would be a dream client. But you know, I think the nature of the kind of clients that PAs work with or VAs work with, you know, they're not necessarily those great communicators, and that's your skill set. You're good at interpreting their tasks and understanding their business and their priorities. So yeah, a dream client would be someone that, you know, was really upfront about everything and you just knew exactly what was going on. But you know, obviously when you're working with multiple clients for short periods of time or longer periods of time throughout the month, you can't know everything about that client or their business, but you know, you need to know what you need to know to deliver the task to the standard that, you know, is expected. So to have a client that communicates really clearly is really, really, really would be dream.
And you're talking there about we touched upon how a client finds a VA, and then you were saying there about, you know, dream client is one that communicates well. How do VAs find the right client sort of that way? You know, sort of it's a two-way street and a two-way sort of communication channel, and you don't have to take every client that comes across your door. So how would you suggest a VA vets a client themselves?
I definitely, we have the discovery calls that we book in, so it's an hour. It could be more, but you know, we promote it as a free first hour. It's a consultation, and I think within an hour you get to know that person, and you get to know, and you know, you ask, you know, I have a whole structured set of questions that we ask, you know, to understand how they like to work, how they like to communicate, you know, what their goals are, what their, you know, vision is for the business. And I think once you get to the end of that hour conversation, you will know whether you want to work with that person. You don't have to, as you say, work with every client that, you know, approaches you. You know, you're not always going to get on with everybody, and you know, there's a VA out there for that person. Maybe with their personalities will fit better, but yeah, you just have to, you know, that's the beauty of the role, is that you can pick and choose your clients, and you know, you're not working for someone, you're working with them, and you know, you're providing a service and they're purchasing that service, and you know, you don't have to sell to that person if you choose not to, because it's your business and you're in charge of it and you're in control. So that's what's great.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that sort of maybe new VAs or even more experienced VAs should be aware of. You know, don't be afraid to say no to a client, but also don't be afraid of self-promotion. And that something you said earlier, that you'd put yourself forward for awards. And I don't think a lot of VAs sort of realize that, you know, you need to do that. Promote yourself. You have really worked hard to set up your own business. You're a VA, you're successful, and don't be afraid to do it. You know, it's part of marketing yourself as well.
Yeah, that's certainly something I want to do more of. I did enter the Maidstone Business Awards as small business startup for the last season. So yeah, it was just great being part of that process, and then, you know, I've networked a little bit with the other winners and, you know, the finalists in that awards, and it's great. So it's another opportunity to network with people and find new potential new clients or new support, you know, people in your local area as well. So yeah, the awards is definitely something that I'm going to focus on more this coming year.
Yeah, and talking about awards, I think it's a really good thing that the VA industry has these awards, because it is recognizing the people that are really doing well in the industry, recognizing leaders, and it's a good way of promoting the industry in general to businesses, because businesses don't necessarily know that there is this help out there. So what would you say, finally, just any advice to any businesses that, you know, are really struggling, how, you know, why they should work with a VA?
I think you should definitely work with a VA if you are really, really snowed under. You can't get to the bottom of your to-do list. You really are stressing out about your business, and you really lost that passion and drive for your business that you've set up, and you've got a destination. You want to get there, and you can't get there. So you just need some help, and you do need to reach out and ask for help. And so that's what the VAs are there for. I meet people all the time that have never heard of a virtual assistant and they're not quite sure. So once you explain it, they're like, oh, that's a brilliant idea. I didn't know the support was there. So I think it's just really important that small businesses are more and more aware that virtual assistants are there to support you, and that's what they want to do. And you don't have to employ somebody to be an admin assistant. You don't need that overhead. You don't need that cost. You can just outsource as and when you need to, on a retainer basis or on an ad hoc basis. If you've got a big project coming up and you just really snowed under, then the VAs are there ready and waiting to take on the work and support you, deliver your dream, really. That's why that the PA portal, my sort of strapline is your gateway to growth. So, I feel that, the services that I offer can ensure that a small business owner can grow their business through outsourcing those tasks that are getting in their way of their dream, basically.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a really brilliant and succinct way of explaining what a VA can do and why a business should hire one. And I guess there's not really much more to say that we could promote the industry anymore. So is there any final piece of advice, lasting piece of advice in any sort of general area that you have and that you think a business would be grateful for?
A lasting piece of advice. I think, well, I couldn't run my business without Google, and I don't think everyone can say that, because there's so much information out there on that whole World Wide Web. If you don't know the answer, Google it. It will be there. And it's a real support. Google, I don't want to say this, probably shouldn't say this, Google is a virtual assistant. Basically, it's there to give you that information, but they don't offer the superior service that us dedicated virtual assistants can offer.
Yes.
So yeah,
us humans still have our benefits.
Oh, absolutely. We're not robots. We can deliver that personal service. That's why the PA portal is the personal assistant service.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, that's a brilliant sort of way to finish off, that it's all about personality, and that's what the service you're really purchasing is.
Absolutely.
You're saying the PA portal is all about the personal service that you're delivering. So just to end it there, I think thank you very much for your time today and for all the advice and your experience. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure anyone that watching will take a lot of advice from it, VA or business wise. So I hope to see the PA portal grow from strength to strength, with lots of associates, and to see it in the future.
Thank you, Gail. Thanks very much.
You're very welcome.
Great.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.